Hey, I just got in from church. Just kind of casual today. Let's see what I'm wearing. Lost my voice. Chilly, yo. Chilly. You know how I do. Yeah, because you know what time it is. It's not really winter, and it's not summer. So, I'm exhausted. I was up all night, and then I went to church. And so, I want to say one thing. I turned on my television. And I don't watch television hardly ever. And I was going to change a little bit because I turned it on, and I finally put the cable onto the television. So usually I'm just on the internet. So now I'm on the internet and the television at the same time. So I just never even bothered to deal with it. I bought a brand new television, never look at it. Except I like to watch DVDs. So if there's a cartoon, animation, or something fun for me to watch, or interesting, or educational, and so I turned on television, and a lot of hot debates about this healthcare plan, and I know the president has been promoting this, but Hillary was promoting this more so than President Obama. At the beginning. So I believe that there's some vested interest in Hillary, and this is a lot of Hillary's doing, and because that was like every other word, it was healthcare. So there's a big thing now. It's probably, I don't know what's going on with it. I'll turn on television and see. This morning they were going to vote on it, and but I want to say one thing. I'm not going to make any mention of basically about it. One way or another, but this is what I do want to say, that there is some old Hictory Trickery involved, and I don't know why it is that they are so what's the benefit on her behalf, but what I want to say about this, and this is why I'm saying it, is because Hillary. When Hillary was running New York State, I'm from Buffalo. I ran into Hillary once. Like I said, it was very nice meeting her. She was former First Lady. Respect her, everything. But I met her, very nice. But Buffalo was supposed to get a lot of innovation. Buffalo is probably one of the most segregated and probably the third poorest place in New York State. It's completely underdeveloped. There's not even a McDonald's downtown. There's not even, downtown Buffalo is barren. I mean, there's a bunch of empty buildings. I went to New York, and I came back, and I was expecting that I would come back here with skills, and I did, and I probably could find a job if I was looking for one, but I was really surprised to see that Buffalo was basically non-existent, that it declined to nothing. And so I was just very disappointed when I came back here. I was ready, they weren't. And so I want to say this about it, about this. There's some trickery that I'm very concerned about. Hillary was supposed to do a lot of stuff to build up the city, but immediately she ran for the Senate, and she was running for the presidency. So this was obviously just a stepping stone. And she, I don't really think that she had a vested interest, and unless she proved otherwise, then I wouldn't really, I'm sure I've seen photos of her around town and other people who have taken photos with her and stuff like that. They have the art space over here where they have apartment buildings for artists and stuff like that. I'm an artist and I can't even get in one. I'm not gonna say anything about the people that are there, but I can't even get any artist funding. They have a whole tri-main building over here for artists, and all the people that I trained with, under, and did work for or something, they all work over there, and I can't get a spot there. I can never get grants there. I've never gotten any help from any of them, so I'm not really impressed with anything that they've done. My one person, there's a lot of artists that I do know there, and it's good and it's stuff for them. But here I am as an artist and was successful in corporate America in New York City. I was like, spearheaded for a department for numbers of departments and diverse vocations, including manufacturing. So I actually manufactured from 3D graphics way back when manufacturing was not as accessible as it is today. I also spearheaded a 3D department. I ran a 3D department for a Fortune 5. I taught in colleges. I also ran my own business on Broadway. I've done a lot, and yet I come back here and there's nothing for me. And this is a senator that was supposed to do all this. So, a lot of us spill milk, water under the bridge, and stuff like that. I've gotten my own business and created my own business. I'm very hopeful because a lot of what President Obama has said about certain type of business breaks and stuff like that. And so this is my point. When Hillary was running for election, it's old trickery. There's a problem that this is the only thing. I'm not saying anything about the health care bill or nothing, but my concerns and my social concerns for the blessings of this country and how God has blessed us. And my concern for my fellow man, my neighborhoods and stuff like that, and the churches and the city and everything else, and Catholic charities. And let me say something about that. Before I jump on this, I was Catholic. I used to be Catholic. And when I moved out of town, and generally I always went to Catholic until I was like 20-something years old. When I was a young kid, there was a lot of Catholic preachers. My mom entrusted, and our family had several Catholic priests around us through the diocese, and we grew up in the Catholic Church. I was an altar boy for years, and almost everybody I knew was an altar boy. We have never had any incident with any homosexuality with any Catholic priest. So, matter of fact, they were such good men. They were some of the greatest men, and I've looked white, black, everything. Father Hilton, Father Lourdes. Father Lourdes asked me to be a preacher. Father Wagner. And, we were kids. We were young black kids, and these were some white guys. And I tell you, they used to take us out to some of the nicest houses just so we could see the other side of the tracks. I mean, we weren't doing bad, but this was really the good stuff. They would show us fireplaces and swimming pools in the houses. They would take us to see what it was like. They played games with it. They were the structure of our parental guidance. And so we had a father. We had a father and a mother, and they were good. And they took us, we had instructions in school. The priests were great men. This thing that is with these priests that they let in the Vatican and all this homosexuality or pedophilia or whatever you want to call it, because to me, when another male touches another male, it's homosexuality first. Now, the age, whether he's 17 or 18, is a different story, okay? But I'm sure all the homosexual agenda is going to say, oh, is this pedophilia? I think it's a big difference between and people that say it's not. I think it's a big difference between a man touching a woman than a man touching a boy. Okay, so nobody, they won't acknowledge that though. Anyhow, So there, we have never, ever, 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 ever had any incidents of that. Matter of fact, we were ruffians. We were the hoodnicks, the beatniks, and stuff like. Well, not really, but we were good kids. But one thing I did used to. I don't know. Never mind. I don't take. You know, we used to handle the wine. I used to take a little extra before I tossed it in the sink. Anyway, that's between me and the Lord. So, because I love the taste of it. It was delicious. Anyway, just experimenting. Anyway, but that was it. That was it. So this thing about this I don't know how the Pope. You know, I don't know the Pope. You know, you can call him all kind of holy fathers, and I'm not that kind of. I'm not a Catholic. My policy now is the church closest on the corner. When I moved out of town, I went to a church, whatever was close I can get to. Okay, that was my philosophy, and it was always good. It worked for me. So, but I do go to a Baptist church now, and one I'm very satisfied. And the men and the people in it are great. And so, but that has nothing to do with God. Now, everybody has faults, and there was a situation, and I don't know what the church tried to do, cover it up, whatever. But I just find it funny. I've gotten a lot of hate from homosexuals, a lot of hate geared to me, and always calling me names and slandering me and calling me bigots and all that hate. I don't know why they call you people gay, because y'all haters, if anybody just express their opinion and don't agree with you, you'll do anything. And so that leads me back to my point, which is Hillary Clinton. When they wanted she wanted to get enough votes. And let me say this, how I feel about it. She wanted to get votes. That guy Spencer, all of a sudden he passed for the Mexicans to get driver's license, and all of a sudden, and then we have all these voters that would influence, and the Mexican people would say, "Yay, Hillary Clinton is great. Vote for her. Vote for her agenda. Vote for her for the Senate. Vote for her for the presidency or the election to get the presidency." Okay. And so that happened. As soon as the smoke clears, those folks, he crossed a lot of people that didn't want the Mexicans in, and they didn't want them in, and then all of a sudden those people got the N1H1 virus, and then it was like no issue. Nobody wanted them in. So that fulfilled somebody's agenda. And then Hillary Clinton, got all of this favor from the Mexicans, Latinos, and stuff like that, which is basically what New York. There's so many people that are like that in New York, and so then she got this election in this favor because she passed this thing. Now, I was trying to piece it together for a while. Why in Washington D.C. did they all of a sudden have this homosexual agenda, and this one guy makes a law, and then on a court system makes a law in DC out of nowhere. DC, the nation's capital. I said, what is it that they want? Why was that allowed to happen? And I look at this situation with this healthcare, and I'm like, I turned on the television. I wasn't watching television, and then it clicked. Healthcare for the voters and for the gay, homosexual, extra votes, and the agenda and the favor to help the lobbyists in the Democratic Party to help them to pass this bill. So I'll be interested in seeing what happens. Who's going to be the fall guy after this clears? Just like Spencer. They got rid of him, uncovered all his stuff. Everybody got a weak point. So he was really, everybody got glass in their house. They got windows, but I mean, his foundations was glass. His walls, all his walls was glass. He's with this prostitution ring. So I'd be interested after the smoke clear or whatever happens with this or whatever has happened. Should be very interesting. Like I said, I can turn on my television and watch the internet at the same time. So, I just really think that it's the same old trickery, and that they somehow use this vote to lobby more people into persuading their voters and feeling that this was a good thing for the Democratic and the Clinton Obama kind of thing there. I just know that there's something. I just feel it that there's something tricky going on with their same old trick that was done in New York that they did down in Washington. I just kind of feel sad that I just didn't see it sooner because I wasn't watching television, and seeing the agenda. Else I would have quickly pieced together. They're doing this for some reason, Again, I have for the hateful homosexuals, you guys hate us. We don't hate. It's not in us to do it. I'm sorry. It's not for us to do that. We're the only ones, that has any kind of moral sense or any guideline to life. We're concerned about life. We're concerned about you and committing to something that is a sin. Committing. And I'm not going to preach on that. I'm not going to preach on that. This is basically a political comment. So, my concern is I want our country to remain blessed. And I did a video now talking about everything is going to collapse. It's so funny that these two agendas come up at the same time. Anyway, I don't mean that as on the healthcare. I had no comment about that whatsoever. I'm just holding my comments about that. God bless you.